Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and welcome to Designer's Best on the Dice Tower, where I take a look at different designers. Today we're taking a look at Tom Lehmann. Now, Tom is known for a few things. I think I would say, for what I know him best as, he likes to work on expansions for other games. And he's worked on expansions for Pandemic. He's done one for St. Petersburg. He's done expansion / spin-off game of Roll Through the Ages. He likes to take other designers' ideas and work with them and make interesting ideas with them. But he's also known for engine building. His games have this engine that starts off and continues on throughout them. And so that's probably the thing he's most famous for. And I want to say almost every game on my list has that engine building aspect to it. So let's get started. These are my 6 favorite games from Tom. Number 6 is Phoenicia. Now, this is the first engine building game that I played of his, and almost didn't. This is one of the earlier games I played of his. I want to say it was from JKM Games, and the rules were just atrocious. I couldn't figure them out. I finally had to go on the internet and find someone who said, this is how you play the game. Once I figured out how to play the game, and you get cards, and you're using these cards to get better cards and things that go along, I was like, wow, this is a pretty neat game. Kind of a bland theme. The rules kind of dragged it down, but it was the beginning. This kind of gave me the glimmer of what we would see in the future. Number 5 is Starship Merchants. Now, this is a pickup and delivery game, but it's a pickup and delivery game in a very small space. But what I mean is, it has this 1950s retro thing, and there's a board, and you're just drawing in circles around this board and going around and around and around and around. But you're picking up from one spot and going to another, and you're just going around, and it works really well. It's kind of a condensed style game, and I like it, especially with the theme. Number 4 is Favor of the Pharaoh, which is an upgraded version of his original game, which was To Court the King. Favor of the Pharaoh, To Court the King, is a dice rolling game like Yahtzee, but you're getting cooler and cooler as time goes by. You're rolling dice, trying to win tiles. As you win these tiles, they give you powers, they give you extra dice, and you're going to keep going until you go for this final big tile. And by that time, you have lots of dice and lots of special abilities that you can pull off and roll. Favor of the Pharaoh does it one better by having different kinds of games, and there's always going to be different cards out there, different tiles, and it's just a fun game as you're building this engine of dice. Number 3 is Jump Drive. Now, one of his most popular games that he does is Race for the Galaxy. Jump Drive was like an intro game to Race for the Galaxy, and I was kind of wary going into it because I was like, I don't need an intro game. I like Race for the Galaxy. But I played it. It's really fast. You are essentially playing a card each turn and building up an engine. But this game, the engine goes and it's done. You're like only playing like 7 or 8 cards over the course of this game. And then the game ends. But you got to figure out the right cards to play at the right time. I liked it. I don't necessarily feel like, it kind of leans towards introducing people to Race for the Galaxy. But it's really a game of itself. And I think it's a fast game. I don't care about the whole intro part. It's just a fun game to play on its own. Number 2 is Roll for the Galaxy, the dice version of Race for the Galaxy. Roll for the Galaxy has custom dice, which is something I tend to like. It lets you roll dice and manipulate those dice and use those dice to take different actions and to have those actions and put them in front of you, to capture planets or, build technologies similar to Race for the Galaxy. But the dice thing allowed me to play this in a multiplayer setting. It gives you the whole fun of rolling dice in a cup and then seeing where to put them. I was very, very impressed with this game, and I love it. Roll for the Galaxy. But my favorite game, and this is kind of a hair because Roll for the Galaxy and my favorite, which is Race for the Galaxy, have kind of switched back and forth, but right now I think Race is best. Race, I still remember distinctly going to the store and buying Race for the Galaxy. I was in Korea, on the subway home, I read the rules, and as I read the rules, I got more and more excited. Went home, grabbed my wife, and said, we got to try this game out. It looks complex. It even is complex, I guess, in a sense, to learn. There's a lot of iconography, there's a lot of stuff going on, but once you get this game down, and if you play with someone else who's good at Race for the Galaxy, it is such a pure gaming experience to just sit there and play the cards. I especially like the 2-player version where you're each playing 2 cards, playing a role. This game kind of has its roots in Puerto Rico, but came back. In fact, this game was a bit of an inspiration for San Juan, which was the card game for Puerto Rico. And this idea of using cards as goods, and nowadays there's lots of games like this, right, where the cards are used for multiple things, but Race for the Galaxy did so in such a unique, interesting way, and it's so strategic. I mean, I was not so sure, and I got the iOS and lost to it almost every single time until I finally started figuring out how to beat it. And it's definitely a game you can get better at. It's a game that rewards multiple strategies. He's done a lot of expansions for it. They've been hit and miss, honestly. The base game itself, though, is still absolutely amazing. That is Race for the Galaxy. And I know for sure he has more games on the way. I'm pretty sure a game releasing this year of his would have made my top list here for sure. But we'll talk about that, I guess, in a few months. But either way, those are my favorite games of his. What are yours? Tell me in the comments below. Until next time, though, I'm Tom Vasel. And this has been Designer's Best, Tom Lehmann, on the Dice Tower.